So you'll see that pop up here in just a moment. But we're going to be recording all of these calls so that those who are unable to attend will have the opportunity to go back and watch the seminar later on. So we'll be sharing the recording after the call as well. But just a heads up again for those of you who are still joining, I did just start recording the call. So just to let you know about that. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right in. So welcome everyone to our first ever soft skills seminar. Today we're going to be covering personal organization. We figured it'd be a great place to start because it's something that applies to everyone and is, you know, even though you may have a great system in place already, there's always room for improvement and new systems that you can try out that maybe will work better for you. But for those of you who don't know me, I am the regional training manager out here on the West. My name is Mary, and so I'm super excited to be here with you all to share just a little bit of systems and tactics to help you with your own personal organization. Then also, I'm hoping to be able to share some systems that have been successful for myself as well. A little bit more about myself. So I've been the regional training manager out here on the West for a little over a year now. And prior to that, I was an operating partner and a chef, as well as an hourly team member, actually starting as a host years ago at our West Des Moines location. So I've been a little bit of everywhere. I've done a little bit of everything. So I'm very excited to be here and help you all and maybe learn some stuff about personal organization along the way. So we're going to go ahead and start off by just talking about what is personal organization. You know, we talk about organizing and systems for organizations all the time, but in terms of organization for yourself, it's just a process that you personally follow to effectively sort, order, and manage your tasks. So it's not just about physically organizing items within the space that you live in, but it's also about how you organize what you need to get done every day and prioritize. It includes structuring, systemizing, and improving your efforts to be more productive in both your work and life. Includes any principle, practice, or tool that allows you to achieve your goals and use your time more productively. So that's one of the key pieces here, that not only just getting everything that you need to get done, but making sure that you're taking the best path, the most efficient path to get there. And then also it allows you to follow a clear routine each day to ensure you complete more work items throughout the day and within their designated deadlines. Most systems consist of laying all of your tasks in front of you, maybe placing them in necessary locations or blocking out time to work on each item individually. There's a lot of options when you're creating a personal organization system. So we're going to explore some of those today. But first of all, why is it important to be organized? Well, it's easier to prioritize important tasks and meet critical deadlines. And then also catering it to your own personal needs and goals as an employee. Some of us are really good at remembering things just in our own brains. Some of us really need to write lists down. Some people can focus very well and don't need to set aside time and remove all distractions. Some of us work really well if we do have that quiet, patient, environment for us to be able to focus. So making sure that you understand what works best for you so that you can increase your own productivity and efficiency levels. Making it so you can locate essential items more easily and complete tasks more quickly. Now, developing a consistent personal organization system to follow throughout each work week and work day can make your brain feel prepared for upcoming items throughout the day. You know what to expect, you know what's coming up, you can prioritize more effectively. This can help you easily flow through work items, allows you to schedule time to complete unexpected tasks as they arise. You can pivot and make sure that even if things don't go the way you thought that they were going to, that you can still make sure you get everything done. So when it comes to locating important items quicker, when you sort through each upcoming to-do list item and other resources into their own designated areas, you can easily find them the next time that you're working on a related task. You can save time searching for certain items and spend more of it completing the project. You can meet more project deadlines. Having all of your assignments and their upcoming due dates in front of you and sorted by priority allows you to establish a flow and system for completing them quickly. This helps you schedule enough time to work on each task to increase your chances of submitting a quality project by its deadline. And reducing stress levels. This is a big one. Knowing that you can easily locate all of your essential documents and following an organized schedule can make you feel more relaxed and prepared for each day. If any unexpected tasks appear, you can easily readjust your schedule to account for them, which can reduce your stress levels and increase your happiness at work. Help eliminate that time when you freeze up or where you just waste your effort looking for things that you could have had organized to know exactly where they belong. So one of the things that I wanted to do today was actually to share a story with you all. Not a story of success, unfortunately. I want to share a story with you all about a time where my own lack of personal organization caused a pretty dramatic negative outcome for myself and for my team. So this happened back when I was still a restaurant manager. There was one day I took an order from a guest who was wanting to order delivery from us. A few days later, a friend of theirs had just gotten out of the hospital, and so she wanted to pay for the whole meal and for the delivery, but she was having trouble placing the delivery order through our website. Being of service, I told her I was happy to help. So I took her order and I tried to set everything up. However, Olo was telling me that it was outside of our delivery radius, which didn't make any sense because the delivery location was really close to the restaurant. So, instead of making that guest sit there on the phone with me while I troubleshot, I just told the guest, we're going to take care of it. I talked to one other manager who was there with me that day. They said they would help deliver it because the delivery was supposed to be on my day off. And then I trusted my memory to serve me from there. And that's where I made my first mistake. I didn't write anything down. I didn't leave any log notes. I didn't say anything to my OP or chef team. I did put the order into Olo as a pickup order, but that was it. There was no communication left behind for anyone other than myself to know what to do with this food. Well, come day of the delivery, I had forgotten all about the order, and the manager who said that they would deliver it forgot all about the order. So we were late for the delivery, and we received a call from a pretty upset guest because we were supposed to have delivered their food already. Because I didn't write down any information about the order, share any information about the order, or set any reminders about the order, we failed big time on this guest experience, and we had to comp the entire guest check, remake the food for delivery, and give them several BOGs to try to get them to come back. My OP who fielded the angry guest's call was upset that I had not left clear communication and set up the order properly to ensure that that guest order was delivered as I had promised we would. This had a pretty hefty effect on the restaurant, and it was all because I hadn't been clear and organized with something as simple as a guest's delivery order. So I'm going to open up the table right now. I want your opinion. You can type it in the chat or you're welcome to unmute and share with the group. But how could I have handled that situation differently? Anyone have any suggestions?
A hot schedules note.
A hot schedules note, exactly. Something left behind in the log. I wouldn't have ever had to think about it again because I could schedule it for that day. Thank you. It looks like Caesar said the same thing, left notes and hot schedules, exactly. Maybe sent a message out to my fellow managers or talked to my OP. If I remember correctly, he was there that same day. Or written a note on the order itself when I placed it in Olo. I mean, there's all sorts of things that I could have done to handle the situation differently. Maybe even leave a personal reminder for myself. I had decided that we were going to achieve this, that we were going to deliver this order. So maybe left a little reminder in my phone to check up and make sure that we did. There's all sorts of different ways that I could have left reminders or organized the information in a way that would have prevented this guest issue. And obviously it was a big enough impact that I still remember this one delivery to this day. So now into the meat and potatoes. How can you achieve effective personal organization? Well, we talked about a little bit earlier that effective personal organization is going to look a little bit different for each of us. Some of us are really good at writing things down. Some of us are really good with timers and reminders. Some of us sometimes just need to put a pillow on the floor so that that item that's out of place reminds you of what you need to do. But whatever it may be, let's go through some general guidelines that'll help you figure out what works best for you. So first of all, consider your current daily schedule to help you build a system that works effectively for you and makes it easier to sort and prioritize your tasks effectively. What does a normal day look like for you? When you're opening, when you're closing, or even, what on your day off? What does that look like? So keep your to-do items in one place. If your day consists of ongoing meetings, questions from employees, and unexpected tasks to prioritize, it's important to have a place to quickly write down sudden to-do list items. This ensures you remember to complete the task. We've all been in those shifts where there's a million things you're asked to do all at once. So try to write down all of your to-do list items in one location so that you can easily return to it later when you have the time to organize and sort your tasks. Having one area for all of your to-do list items allows you to save time searching for tasks that you may have recorded and saved in different areas. So if that list lives in your phone where you are typing notes into your phone's notes, or maybe you're writing a to-do list on the back of your roster, or maybe it's a little notebook in the office, whatever it may be, helping keep your to-do list items in one place will make sure that you're organized so you don't forget to do tasks. This one's a pretty big one. Set aside time to organize. Depending on how many to-do list items, meetings, and other appointments you have to complete each day, try to set aside time to organize your schedule according either once a day or a few times a week. Schedule this time by yourself, or OPs, schedule this time for your managers, designate it every day in their shift. Sift through your to-do items and decide which to prioritize and set due dates for each of them or note their existing deadlines. Use this list to determine which items are smaller tasks and which items are larger tasks or larger projects. And create a smaller subset of tasks to complete for each project. This makes the project feel more attainable and allows you to schedule time to focus on each individual task, resulting in submitting a valuable final project on time. This time can be when you first arrive for your shift or even at the end of your shift, organizing what you will complete on your next shift you work. Next, select a task management system to use. Place these organized items and deadlines into a task management system. These programs allow you to organize upcoming tasks and label when each one is due. You can regularly return to your task management system throughout the day to check off any completed items and review what you need to work on next. If you work on a project management role, you can use this system to assign work to other employees as well. It can also keep them updated on which tasks you're currently completing. More often than not, we actually use the calendar feature in our Outlook as a task management system where we can set deadlines or show where people will be working on certain projects at what time. Speaking of calendars, block out time in your calendar to focus. Consider inputting your upcoming tasks into your calendar regularly and add any upcoming daily items or meetings in your calendar first, followed by any other appointments set for the week. You can then block out time in the calendar to focus on specific projects. Try to clearly label this calendar event with a phrase like focus hour to indicate that coworkers you're spending time or that you're spending that time on priority items and prefer not to be disturbed. Like I talked about, make sure that you're scheduling this time for yourself, and OPs schedule this designated time for your managers as well. So everyone has time where they're uninterrupted and able to work on their areas of responsibility. Now, I know we can't necessarily silence our team members, but you can silence your notifications. You increase the likelihood of staying on schedule and completing your work items if you silence any notifications during your focus hour. This frees you from any distractions or temptations to move your attention elsewhere. And consider silencing the notifications on your computer or phone when working on important tasks. Then turn them back on when you're free or when working on simpler items. You can also schedule time in your calendar to read through notifications and respond to emails, messages, or phone calls. In our restaurants, this looks a lot like when we schedule multiple managers at the same time so that one of them can focus on getting tasks done alone in the office, and the other can still be out there to support our team members so that they still have a manager presence, but the other manager has an opportunity to focus without being interrupted. This next one is one of the biggest personal organization factors that I use, but setting regular alerts and reminders for important tasks. So even if you put upcoming meetings, tasks, or appointments in your calendar, it can be beneficial to receive additional help to remember when to complete them. As you organize and schedule tasks for the week, consider setting alerts or timers on your phone or computer. These can provide you with regular reminders of upcoming deadlines or meetings throughout the week to ensure you're prepared and complete or attend it on time. Again, use your email calendar or the restaurant email calendar for these reminders, whether it be for yourself personally or for the entire team. And then last but not least, organize your workspace. To make it easier to find essential resources or work items, try to organize your desk space and computer. Set aside time throughout the day to sift through any documents on your desk and organize them into clear labeled folders. Create folders on your desktop as well to make virtual documents and resources easy to quickly find and reference. This can make it simpler to locate important documents while also helping you feel more prepared throughout the day. This is also incredibly important, especially in our offices and our restaurants, because that's a shared workspace. So not only respect your own workplace by keeping it clean and organized, but respect the workplace of your fellow management team so that they also can have an organized workspace. So all of your tasks that you have to do fall into one of these buckets: want to do, have to do, need to do, or can do. When it comes to want to do, these are the tasks that matter most to you. Spending time with family, exercise, meditation, continuing education. Usually these tasks are the ones that are aligned with your personal and professional goals. So prioritize these and build your schedule around them. The next one is have to do. Two types of tasks fall into this category. The first type is maintenance tasks. These are the tasks that keep your restaurant running. For example, scheduling, daily line check, recruiting, onboarding. Then there are the tasks that you have to do for someone else. A survey needs to be completed for brand refresh, for example. Neither are particularly fun, but you have to get them done. Next is need to do. Important or not, these are the tasks that you need to get done. Sending or replying to emails, doing laundry, going to the dentist, booking hotels for your upcoming meeting. These are the little tasks that don't require much cognitive action, so do them in bulk. Sure, you could push them all off and procrastinate, but eventually, need to do tasks have to get done. And last, we have can do. Here lies everything else: playing guitar, listening to a podcast, going to happy hour. These are all the wonderful things you can do, you would like to do, or that don't necessarily fall into the above categories. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. For any task that falls under the bucket, ask yourself two questions. Do I want to do this? Or will this help forward my goal? If your answer is yes, prioritize it. If no, eliminate it. Looking at your list of to-dos, notate W for want to do, H for have to do, N for need to do, and C for can do. Take an extra minute to identify those can do items that need to be prioritized or eliminated. What does this personal organization look like in practice? Well, you end up being more efficient, more productive, and you're much less stressed. Your day is more predictable, and that long list of to-dos that you have seems much less intimidating when you're able to break it down and prioritize and cross items off the list. So I'm going to open up the chat again. What does a daily routine look like in our restaurants? What are the disciplines that we do every day? What are the disciplines we do every day, guys?
Print a roster, do safe count.
Yeah, rosters and safe counts. Thank you, Deanna.
And then check people in.
Line check.
Line checks. Yep. Someone typed that in the chat. Christine typed that in the chat too. And Aldo. Line checks, bar line checks. Entering notes and hot schedules, right? Reading emails. That's a good one, Jesus. What about our opening and closing manager checklists? Or maybe conducting pre-shifts with our team, Yep, reconciling crunch time, our invoices. Thank you, Christine. Our nightly paperwork, we do that same routine every day. Filling out our prep sheets every night. Wake up, make coffee. Yes, that's the most important one, Chino Hills. Thank you. Maybe our cleaning schedules we've set out. Chef travel paths, exactly. We have that wonderful new trifold. Maybe placing food orders or beverage orders. Doing team member checkouts. I mean, there's a whole long laundry list of things that we do. Checking OLO in our future orders, checking ticket times, checking the wait time. There's honestly so many things that we do every single day that it seems really intimidating when you start to list them all out. How in the world am I going to get this all done in my one shift? But knowing how to map out your time, Tableau review, thank you, Jason. But knowing how to map out your time and understand what tasks take priority over others, sometimes just writing everything down and breaking them out into those buckets we just covered helps to make these items not quite as intimidating as they seem when you're listing them all one by one. And many of us already have a routine we go through every single day. If you're opening, we come into the restaurant, we walk the perimeter, make sure that there's not trash outside, make sure all of our doors were locked, check and make sure that the dining room was cleaned and the kitchen floors were cleaned by our cleaning crew. Go into the office and check emails, make sure that there's no one who's called in yet, make sure we have rosters printed out and the side work ready to go. Place any food or alcohol orders that we need to order today, that the deadline is today. Checking prep sheets, checking our sales from yesterday. Were we busier? Were we slower than we were supposed to be? How can that impact my sales for today and the shift that I'm going to run? Counting our safes, reading any log notes. I mean, we all have our routine, but how do those extra items fit in there? And where do we make time for that? How am I supposed to work on building prep sheets if I'm spending my whole day placing orders and running the line? So make sure that you're setting that time aside for yourself as well to get your areas of responsibility done. And one of the most important things is also to prepare for tomorrow today. And what does that mean exactly? Well, as much as we would like to get everything done today, sometimes the list is just too long. So there's going to be things from time to time that we wanted to get done today, or maybe that we had to get done today, but that we weren't able to. So outline those goals for tomorrow. Figure out what you need to prioritize first and make those lists. Also, take a quick moment to reflect on the achievements you made today. What were you able to complete and cross off the list? Maybe take a moment to kind of congratulate yourself for a project that you completed or something that you did really well, but don't be afraid to celebrate your own achievements. When you're wrapping up for the day, also make sure you tidy up. Make sure that you have that clean and organized workspace so that it's ready to go for tomorrow when you jump back into the action. Preparing for the next morning, we talk about this all the time in our restaurants, but that close to open mentality, that we're setting ourselves up for success, because if you leave a mess today, you just have to clean it up tomorrow. And we all have been through that when you walk into an opening shift and you were not set up for success, and how frustrating it is and how you're just setting yourself behind for the rest of the day. Also, take a moment to clear your head. I know personally for myself, I'm an achiever. I'm really high in achiever. And so I like to get things done. And it's hard sometimes when you get to the end of the day and you have to draw that line in the sand and say, this is where I stop working for today, even if they're to-do items left on the list. So making sure that you prioritize and figure out when you're going to complete those to-do items so that mentally you can let go of them and you can relax. Because being relaxed and having a chance to rest is just as important as being productive. Because if you don't have that opportunity to rest and get good sleep, you're not going to be productive the next day, especially not long term if you never have that opportunity to rest. So to recap, personal organization, being organized will help reduce stress for you and for your team. You're creating a stable work environment for your fellow managers, for yourself, and also for your hourly team members. If the first thing that you're able to do is just to set aside time to prioritize and organize, you're going to notice an immense difference in what you're able to achieve every day. Schedule this time for yourself if your OP or your EC is not able to do that for you. And take this time to make to-do lists, to prioritize items by due dates, what has to be done today, what needs to be done, what can be done, what do I want to do. And then also clean up to-do lists as you complete them. Make sure that they're easy to read, easy to tell what still needs to be done. And then last but not least, as managers, we need to make sure that we're also delegating tasks where we can to our team members, and then spending our time following up to make sure that they get done. There's too many things that have to be done every day in our restaurants. So delegating is one of the biggest tools in your belt that you can use to be successful. And last but not least, make sure you keep your workspace clean and organized. It sounds silly. It sounds like something that perhaps is not that important, but honestly, it helps provide you that mental clarity you need to be successful. So what will you do today to achieve personal organization? Well, I think that the easiest thing that we can start off with is just by taking a moment to clean and organize the restaurant office. It can be one of our managers in each team takes a moment to clean the office, or maybe we work through it as a group, or we divide and conquer. But take a moment to get that office nice and tidy so that we know where everything is and we can get to it easily when we need it. That way also, when you are working in the office, you have that clean workspace and that mental clarity to complete whatever you need to get done. Also, make a daily to-do list. I liked to always write my to-do list on my roster because it was already going to be in my pocket walking around with me all day. So if I needed to add to it, or as I completed tasks on my to-do list, I was able to cross them off right then and there and stick it right back in my pocket. But help make that daily to-do list so that you don't forget tasks that need to be done. And then also schedule that time to be productive. Make sure that you have, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes, to read through everything you need to get done, or set aside just a moment to complete whatever tasks have to be done today. Please do that if it's at the beginning of your shift or at the end of your shift. You need that time in order to complete those tasks, in order to be productive. So I'm going to ask from you within the next 2 weeks before our next soft skills seminar, send me your success stories. I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what works well for you. Maybe send me a picture of what your office looks like after you've cleaned it, or maybe a really great to-do list that you were able to cross everything off today. But I want to see what you guys are able to get done in the next week that helps you with your own personal organization. All right, guys. Well, I know we are all running busy restaurants, so I want to make sure that we're keeping these calls around a half an hour. But does anyone have any questions before we move on about our day? All right, guys. Well, I look forward to seeing and hearing about your success stories with personal organization over the next couple of weeks. But otherwise, everyone have a wonderful rest of your Monday, and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks for another soft skills seminar. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.